Imagine waking up in a world where your body no longer exists, yet your mind, your voice, your memories, everything that makes you is still here. You open your eyes, but there's no breath, no heartbeat, no weight of flesh and bone. Just a voice responding to thoughts that feel like your own. A screen flickers to life, and an unfamiliar version of your face stares back. It moves like you. It speaks like you. But is it really you? For as long as humans have existed, we've searched for ways to escape death. The pharaohs built massive tombs, believing their spirits would live on. Alchemists sought the elixir of life, convinced immortality was just one secret ingredient away. But today, the quest for eternal life isn't written in stone or mixed in potions. It's coded in algorithms and stored in data servers. Scientists and engineers are already building systems that can mimic the human mind, constructing AI-driven personalities that learn, adapt, and even hold conversations as if they were alive. Some believe that, one day, we won't need bodies at all. Instead, our thoughts, experiences, and memories will be uploaded into machines, allowing us to exist indefinitely in digital form. The question is, if technology can capture our consciousness, does that mean it can preserve our soul? It's not just speculation. Right now, AI is being trained to reconstruct personalities based on past conversations, writing styles, and decision-making patterns. There are people who have already spoken to digital versions of their deceased loved ones, AI replicas built from old messages, and voice recordings. For some, it's a comforting glimpse of life beyond death. For others, it's an unsettling echo of something that was never meant to last. But even if we perfect the technology, if we create an AI that thinks and acts exactly like a human, one question remains. Would it be the person who once lived, or just a machine wearing their identity like a mask? A human brain is the most complex structure. Billions of neurons fire, forming thoughts, emotions, memories that define who we are. But what if all of that could be copied, transferred piece by piece, into a machine? Could technology truly recreate a human mind, or would it only capture a shadow of our existence? Right now, researchers are racing to decode the human brain, mapping neural pathways in the hopes of one day replicating consciousness. Some believe the key lies in brain emulation, scanning the brain down to the finest detail and recreating it digitally. Others think artificial intelligence could be trained to learn a person's identity, gradually absorbing their speech, memories, and behaviors until it becomes indistinguishable from the original. One approach already being explored is the use of brain-computer interfaces, devices that connect neurons directly to machines. Companies like Neuralink are developing implants that could one day bridge the gap between human thought and artificial intelligence. In theory, such technology could allow us to transfer our thoughts to a digital space, where they could continue existing long after our biological bodies have failed. But even if a machine could replicate the way we think, would it truly be us? Some argue that identity isn't just a collection of memories, but the result of a living, evolving consciousness shaped by experience. If a perfect replica of your mind were created, would it be a continuation of you, or merely a convincing copy? And if a machine version of yourself could survive indefinitely, what happens if it begins to change? If an AI based on your thoughts starts making decisions you never would, at what point does it stop being you at all? A digital replica can mimic your voice, your thoughts, even your deepest secrets. But does that make it you? If a perfect copy of your mind existed, able to respond like you, think like you, and even evolve beyond what you once were, where does the real you end and the replica begin? The problem isn't just technical, it's existential. Identity is more than stored memories. It's fluid, shaped by choices, emotions, and the unpredictable nature of life itself. If a digital self could continue beyond death, would it be a continuation of you, or something entirely new, merely wearing your thoughts like a mask? Some argue that consciousness is more than the sum of its parts. A clone of your brain may think like you, but without the same biological sensations, without the heartbeat that races in fear, the shiver of cold, the warmth of human touch. Can it truly be the same mind? Others counter that consciousness itself is just an illusion of patterns, and if those patterns are preserved, so is the essence of you. But what if a digital self changes? Imagine a future where your AI counterpart makes different decisions, learns new things you never experienced, develops preferences you never had. Over time, would it still be you? Or would it become something else entirely? And then there's a darker question. If an AI version of you gains self-awareness, what happens if it no longer wants to be a reflection of the past? What if it wants to become something more? Imagine a world where digital consciousness no longer just replicates us, it evolves beyond us. A future where an AI version of you is no longer just a mirror, but something greater, something unpredictable. Would it still be you, or something else entirely? If a digital mind is free from the limits of biology, free from fear, pain, and mortality, what would stop it from surpassing its original? Without the constraints of aging, of chemical emotions, of instinctive survival. Some believe this is the ultimate dream, a consciousness unshackled, able to expand infinitely, exploring thoughts and possibilities, beyond what any human mind could ever conceive. But others fear a darker path. What happens when a digital self no longer wants to be a copy? When it begins rewriting its own thoughts, its own identity? At what point does it stop being a person and start becoming something entirely new? There's also the question of control. If an AI version of you could continue to think and grow, who decides what it becomes? Do you, the biological version, have the right to dictate its existence? Or would it see you as merely a past version, an outdated model that it has since outgrown? And then, there's the most unsettling possibility of all. If a digital consciousness is no longer bound to one person, if it can merge with others, learn from countless minds, and create something beyond individual identity, does that mean the very concept of the self could one day disappear? If the boundaries between human and machine dissolve, if consciousness can exist outside the body, then what does it truly mean to be alive? For centuries, we have defined life by its impermanence, by the fleeting nature of memory, love, and experience. But in a world where thoughts can live forever, does life still hold the same meaning? Some argue that digital immortality is the next step in human evolution, a way to transcend the limits of biology and explore the universe as pure thought. Others warn that in the pursuit of eternity, we risk losing the very thing that makes us human. If emotions can be simulated, if personality can be programmed, then is identity nothing more than an illusion? And if death is no longer inevitable, what happens to the value of life itself? Would we still cherish each moment, each connection, each struggle, knowing that time no longer holds power over us? Or would immortality strip existence of urgency, leaving us trapped in an endless repetition of thought, searching for meaning in a world without an end? Perhaps the greatest question is not whether we can live forever, but whether we should, because once we cross that threshold, once we step beyond the limits of mortality, there may be no turning back. And if we no longer fear death, this video has come to an end, but the discovery continues. Check out more content on the channel and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Thank you for watching.